Hi friends, this is FirearmPop, and today I have another installment in my Armed Citizen Stories. This again coming right out of First Freedom magazine, which is an NRA publication. If you're not a member of the NRA, you really need to support this one organization. If you're a gun owner and want your rights protected in the United States, the NRA is our only voice in Washington and makes that happen. So go ahead and join the NRA. And this is taken right out of that magazine. It's called Armed Citizen Stories, or called The Armed Citizen. And without further ado, I like to preface this whole thing with a little word of caution. And that word of caution is, as a gun owner, if you are expecting to protect your home, your loved ones, which is why you would carry a weapon or have one in your home, you should be knowledgeable as to your state laws, what your requirements are to be able to use that weapon in self-defense. I just got informed of a law here in New York that I wasn't aware of, Article 35 now of the New York State Penal Code. Now I'm going to be doing a whole separate video on that coming shortly. I'm doing some studying and research about it right now, so stay tuned for that. But you need to do your own research on your state laws and what they require you to do or not to do. What I understand here in New York, you must retreat. You must continue to retreat even in your own home until your back's up against the wall and you have no other choice. Like you're in a bathroom and you can't go back and this person continues to come towards you with bodily harm intent. I don't know all the particulars of the law yet, but you really need to understand where you stand your ground. There's a lot of states now that have the castle doctrine. That means you are the castle of your home, and you can't protect it. In New York, you can't protect your property. You'll go to jail for murder or whatever. You cannot protect property. You can only protect life and limb of you or your loved ones. So anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. I just wanted to temper these stories with you knowing your state's requirements and what you can and can't do legally. Okay, so let's get right to it. Bob Lohman, 64, and his wife Charlene, 57, were watching television one evening when a brick was thrown through the glass doors in their living room. The perpetrator, a 20-year-old William Carlton, then entered the Lohman residence, grabbed Charlene, and began savagely beating her. When Lohman was unable to pull Carlton away from his wife, he retrieved his .38 caliber revolver and shot him once before calling the police. Carlton was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead shortly thereafter. Mrs. Lohman sustained significant bumps and bruises, but was otherwise uninjured. And this happened in Dardenne Prairie, Missouri. Okay. Moving to the next. Willie White, 75, God bless him, was watching a basketball game at about 1:15 a.m. when he heard a steady banging at his door. White armed himself with a rifle before an 18-year-old intruder was able to kick in the door. White said, "I was nervous. I figured if someone's hostile enough to break your door down, he's capable of anything. I shot him." The intruder sustained a single gunshot wound that proved fatal. His two accomplices fled the scene, and that was in Detroit, Michigan. A man came to the door of Herschel Matheny, 82, and Jacqueline Hicks, 75, one morning and asked to use their telephone. When the man was given a phone to use, he reportedly stabbed Matheny in the chest and demanded money from Hicks. While giving the man the impression she was leaving the room to get money, Hicks retrieved a firearm instead and forced the man to leave. Matheny was taken to a hospital and is expected to recover. The suspect is at large, and this is in Herod, Illinois. Police were called after a man shot a pit bull that had attacked his 11-year-old son. The dog belonged to a neighbor and had broken free from its leash before it bit the boy. The boy's father retrieved the handgun and fired one shot when the dog lunged towards him. The wounded dog ran off, but was later located and taken to be euthanized. The boy was treated for his injuries and is expected to make a full recovery. And that happened in Riverside County, California. Just about 2 o'clock one afternoon, a woman was home alone when she heard a knock at her door. The two men at the door began inquiring about a friend of hers. Suddenly, she was forced back into the house at gunpoint and into a closet. The closet, however, was where the woman kept her gun of her own. She fired at the intruders, causing them to flee. One of the intruders suffered a gunshot wound and collapsed on the sidewalk outside. He was later pronounced dead. The woman was uninjured. And that happened in Kansas City, Missouri. Reverend Henry Guyton, 71, a Baptist church pastor, called 911 one afternoon when a man at the church began acting as if he was having a heart attack. The man, 38-year-old Jesse Gates, left the church after being examined by EMS. Gates returned to the church later that day carrying a shotgun. The Reverend's grandson, Aaron Guyton, 26, spotted the shotgun and locked the doors. Gates, however, kicked open the side door of the sanctuary and pointed the gun at the pastor and the congregation. As a concealed carry permit holder, Guyton acted quickly to detain Gates at gunpoint until the police arrived. Everyone was reportedly unharmed, and that happened in Boiling Springs, South Carolina. Leonard Nathaniel was sleeping when a neighbor called and alerted him to possible burglars outside his apartment. Nathaniel then went downstairs and found two intruders going through his kitchen drawer and cabinets. Although one intruder had a gun pointed at him, Nathaniel fled upstairs where he retrieved his own firearm. He fired at the men, wounding one and causing the other to flee. Rashawn Dawson, 18, was taken to the hospital and treated for his wounds. He was then charged with burglary and possession of a stolen firearm. Andrew Smalls, 19, was later arrested and charged with burglary as well. And that happened in Charleston, South Carolina. Carlene McCary, 48, was shopping at Getzow Jewelers one afternoon. Showing interest in buying a charm, she asked the employee if she could see an expensive crucifix. When the employee carefully handed the charm to her to examine, McCary gave the worker a handwritten note telling him no one would be hurt if he handed over all the store's engagement rings. The employee signaled to his father, who was in the back room of the store, and he quickly emerged with a gun. He was then able to detain McCary until police arrived. And that happened in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Well, there you have it, folks. Another set of interesting stories of people using firearms to protect their life and limb. Well worth reading. And again, if you're not a member of the NRA, and they have different magazines to choose from if you do become a member. First Freedom is one of them. I think Rifleman is another one. But when you go to their webpage, www.nra.com, you have your choices when you sign up, if you haven't signed up already. Okay, this is FirearmPop. We want you to be safe out there, and God bless. Bye now.